Have you ever made a friendship bracelet, or seen a beautiful necklace sparkling in a shop? Chances are they were made with beads. Beads are tiny, colorful objects with a hole through the middle. You can string them together to make all sorts of amazing things. People have been making and using beads for a very, very long time. They use them to decorate clothes, make jewelry, and even for counting. Beads can be big or small, round or square, shiny or plain. They're like little drops of art that you can wear and share with your friends. The world is full of so many different kinds of beads, each with its own special story to tell. So, where do all these wonderful beads come from? While you can make some beads at home, most of the beads you see in stores are made in big factories. These factories are like magical workshops where simple materials are turned into beautiful little treasures. It's a busy place, full of amazing machines and skilled workers who know all the secrets to bead making. Imagine giant ovens, spinning tools, and rivers of colorful glass all working together. The journey from a simple lump of material to a perfectly finished bead is a fascinating one, with many careful steps along the way to make sure each bead is just right for your next craft project. Beads can be made from many different things. Some of the oldest beads were made from shells, seeds, or small stones that people found in nature. Today we can make beads from almost anything you can imagine. The most common material for shiny, colorful beads is glass. Glass starts as sand, which is melted down into a hot, glowing liquid. Beads can also be made from plastic, which comes in every color of the rainbow. Other beads are made from wood, which gives them a natural, earthy feel. And some special beads are even made from clay, which is molded and then baked until it's hard. Each material gives the bead a different look and feel. Glass beads are often bright and can be see-through like tiny jewels. Plastic beads are very light and strong, which makes them great for kids' crafts because they don't break easily. Wooden beads are warm and have beautiful natural patterns from the tree they came from. Clay beads can be shaped into all sorts of fun and funky designs before they are baked. No matter what they are made of, every single bead begins its life as a raw material, waiting for the factory magic to begin and transform it into something beautiful that you can use. Let's peek inside a glass bead factory. The first step is melting. The main ingredient for glass is sand, but not the kind you find at the beach. It's a special, pure sand called silica. Workers mix this sand with other ingredients like soda ash and lime, which help it melt at a lower temperature. This mixture is poured into a huge, incredibly hot furnace. The furnace is like a giant oven that can get hotter than a volcano. Inside, the sandy mix melts down and transforms into a thick, glowing, honey-like liquid. This molten glass glows bright orange and is ready to be shaped into beads. Once the glass is melted, it's time to get it ready for shaping. The hot, gooey glass is carefully pulled out of the furnace. It is often stretched into long, thin rods called canes. Think of it like pulling taffy. Some canes are just one solid color, like a long red glass stick. Others are much more complex. Skilled workers can layer different colors of molten glass on top of each other before pulling them. This creates amazing patterns inside the cane. When you slice these special canes, you can see tiny flowers, stars, or swirls trapped inside the glass. This is how beautiful Murano beads are made. The next part of the process is actually making the bead shape. There are a few ways to do this. One common method is called winding. A worker takes one of the glass canes and heats the end in a flame until it's soft and melty again. Then, they carefully wind the soft glass around a thin metal stick called a mandrel. The mandrel is coated with a clay-like substance that keeps the glass from sticking to it. The worker spins the mandrel, and the glass forms a round ball around it. The hole in the bead is created by the space the mandrel takes up. After the basic bead shape is formed on the mandrel, it needs to cool down very slowly. If the glass cools too fast, it can crack and break. So, the newly formed beads, still on their metal rods, are placed into a special oven called an annealer. This oven is warm at first and then cools down over several hours. This slow cooling process makes the glass strong and durable so your beads won't shatter easily. It's like letting the beads take a long, relaxing nap so they can wake up strong and ready for the next step, getting their color and shine. Not all beads are made one by one. To make lots of simple, round beads quickly, factories use a special machine. This machine takes the long glass canes we talked about and chops them into tiny, cylinder-shaped pieces. These little pieces are then mixed with a powder, like fine sand or carbon, to keep them from sticking together. The mix is put into a large, rotating drum. The drum is heated, which makes the glass pieces soft. As the drum tumbles, the soft glass pieces roll around and bump into each other, smoothing their sharp edges and forming them into little spheres. Coloring the beads is one of the most exciting parts. Sometimes the color is already in the glass itself, from when the canes were made. This means the bead is the same color all the way through. But other times, clear beads are given a colorful coating. They might be dipped into special paint or dye to give them a vibrant new look. Some beads get a very special treatment called an aurora borealis, or AB finish. This is a super thin, metallic coating that makes the bead shimmer with all the colors of the rainbow when it catches the light, just like the northern lights. After coloring, the beads go through finishing touches. The holes in the beads might need to be cleaned out to make sure your string can pass through easily. Sometimes the beads are put back into a tumbler, but this time with small polishing bits. This process, which is like a washing machine for beads, smooths out any rough spots and gives them a beautiful, shiny surface. For matte beads, they might be tumbled with a different material or sandblasted, which gives them a soft, frosted look instead of a glossy shine. Every finish gives the bead a unique personality. Throughout this whole process, many workers and machines are involved. You have the workers who mix the raw materials and operate the big furnaces. There are the skilled artisans who wind glass onto mandrels to make special beads by hand. Then there are the machine operators who watch over the bead-shaping drums and cutting machines. It's like a well-choreographed dance, where each person and each machine has a very specific job to do. They all work together in harmony to turn simple materials into the thousands of perfect little beads that end up in your craft box. How does a factory make sure every bead is perfect? This is where quality control comes in. At every stage of the process, workers check the beads carefully. They look for cracks, chips, or misshapen beads. They check to make sure the color is even and the finish is just right. A special team of inspectors will often take a sample of beads from a big batch and examine them closely. They make sure the size is consistent and that the hole is clear and centered. Any beads that aren't good enough are removed and often get melted down to be used again, so nothing goes to waste. Once the beads have passed all the quality checks, they are ready to be packaged. Machines count the beads or weigh them to make sure each bag has the right amount. Workers then put them into small plastic bags, plastic containers, or long strands. These packages are labeled with information about the bead's size, color, and material. Finally, the packages are put into bigger boxes and shipped off to craft stores, jewelry designers, and warehouses all over the world. The next time you see a strand of beads in a store, you'll know it has been on a long journey to get there. So the next time you string a bead onto a bracelet or sew one onto a costume, think about its amazing adventure. It started as sand, clay, or plastic. It was melted, stretched, chopped, and tumbled. It was heated in fiery furnaces and cooled down slowly. It was colored, polished, and checked carefully by many hands and machines. Each tiny bead is the result of a lot of hard work and clever science. It's a little piece of factory magic that you get to use to create something new and wonderful, all on your own. Now for some fun facts. Did you know that the oldest bead ever found is over 100,000 years old? It was made from a sea snail shell. In some parts of the world, beads were once used as money, just like coins. People would trade strings of beads for food, tools, and other goods. The most expensive bead in the world is a rare blue diamond bead that is worth millions of dollars. Beads are not just for crafts. Scientists and engineers sometimes use tiny, perfect glass beads in high-tech equipment like fiber optic cables. Beads are truly tiny treasures with a big history.